You've probably seen pictures of it. A world that looks like it's been dipped in glass, sparkling in the sun. It's one of nature's most beautiful moments, but that beauty is hiding something incredibly powerful and destructive. This is the story of the ice storm. And this is what it can leave behind. So you have to ask, how does something as simple as rain cause this much chaos? This isn't a tornado or a blizzard. No, this is something much more specific and, in its own way, much more dangerous. And that's the whole thing, isn't it? It's a deceptive beauty. What looks like a magical winter wonderland is really just water. Water that's been turned into a weapon by the atmosphere itself. So to really get a handle on the damage, we first have to understand the cause. What in the world has to happen for a storm like this to even form? Because I'll tell you, it's a whole lot more than just a cold, rainy day. It truly is a perfect, or maybe an imperfect storm. It needs this very specific, very precise atmospheric recipe to create the one ingredient that makes it all happen. And this, right here, is the absolute key to the whole thing. We're not talking about snow. We're not even talking about sleet. We are talking about freezing rain. And what that means is it's liquid rain that is actually colder than freezing. They call it supercooled, and it's super unstable. It's just waiting to touch something. So how does this even happen? Well, think of it like a sandwich in the sky. Way up high, you've got a cold layer where snow forms. Normal stuff. As those snowflakes fall, they pass through a thick, warm layer of air in the middle, and they melt into regular old raindrops. But then, and this is the absolute crucial part, right before they hit the ground, they fall through a final, thin slice of freezing cold air. That's what supercools them, getting them ready to freeze on impact. And the result is this. The second those supercooled raindrops hit a branch, a power line, a car, a road, they freeze instantly. Everything gets coated in this smooth, clear, and incredibly heavy glaze of ice. It looks so delicate, almost like glass, doesn't it? But that beautiful glaze is where the real danger is hiding. Because all of that ice has a secret. It's weight. You know, when we think about winter storms, our mind immediately goes to the cold. But with an ice storm, the temperature, believe it or not, isn't the main villain. The real threat, the thing that does all the damage, is the absolutely relentless, crushing weight of all that ice piling up. Let this sink in for a second. 500 pounds. That is the potential weight added to just one section of power line from only a half-inch of ice. That's like hanging two full-grown adults off of a wire. And some storms drop way, way more than half an inch. And just like that, we're back where we started. But now this picture makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It wasn't some crazy wind that did this. It was just the slow, silent, incredible accumulation of frozen rain that got so heavy, it literally tore these massive trees apart. And when the trees and the power lines start coming down, that's just the first domino to fall. That's when the real crisis begins, triggering a chain reaction that can bring our entire modern world to a screeching halt. First, the power goes out, and not for an hour. We're talking days, maybe even weeks. Then you realize you can't go anywhere because the roads are impassable. Cell towers lose power, so communications go down. You literally can't even walk outside safely. All the systems we just take for granted, they just stop working. And for a lot of us, this is the moment it really sinks in. You walk outside and look at your car and realize it's not a car anymore. It's an ice sculpture, and it is going absolutely nowhere. And hey, even if you could magically get all that ice off your car, where would you go? The roads themselves have turned into treacherous skating rinks. Emergency vehicles, delivery trucks, everything is stuck. And don't for a second think this is just a rural problem. A major ice storm can paralyze the heart of a huge city, bringing that constant hum of traffic and life to a sudden, eerie, and icy silence. So, knowing how completely disruptive and dangerous these storms are, the real question becomes, how do you get ready for one? Because in a situation like this, being prepared is everything. Winging it is not an option. And look, this isn't just a suggestion. This stuff is essential. You need the basics, of course. Food and water for at least 3 days, flashlights, a radio that you can crank by hand. But what's absolutely critical is a safe alternative way to heat your home, and you have to know how to use it properly. The last thing you need is another emergency inside your house. Which kind of leaves us with one final and pretty crucial question. That warm air sandwich we talked about, that very specific, delicate balance that creates these storms in the first place. As our global climate continues to change, are we creating the conditions to make that recipe happen more often? That is a truly chilling thought.